Welcome back, doll enthusiasts, to more Blood Omen, the Legacy of Kain. Today with me are Thor
Hello.
and the game's librarian.
Howdy.
He does not change his intro at all. Anyways, let's go ahead and move forward. As part of this side quest, we have to track down some doll that has a little girl's soul in it because she's the princess and this king is paralyzed by grief over her situation.
Well, it's his damn fault for making the creepy doll maker the winner.
That's true. Oh, and if you thought that in order to do this, we need to go through the same shit we've been doing this entire game, then you're correct. That is exactly what we get to do.
Woohoo!
Huzzah.
It's one of those few times I don't want to be right.
Yeah. I mean, we're in another sewer area, and there's another one next video. They're not too extensive, but the fact that they're here is annoying.
At least they don't really look like sewers.
Yeah.
So there's that.
I guess we'll take that, but they still
It's
all
not
look the
much,
same.
I know.
Yeah.
I wonder who comes up with these sewer designs. Floating spiky balls and fireball launchers are exactly what we need in a sewer.
Yeah, I think their sewer construction needs some work. That's not how you make a proper sewer.
They look like giant sea urchins.
I could see if they were some kind of life form. I don't know what the hell these spiky balls are even here for. Same with the fireball launchers.
Just to annoy you and get in your way.
Yeah, but at least make them creatures of some kind.
Something tells me that they might have run out of ideas.
My God.
I mean, you've got a basic as fuck slime following you. So, need I say more?
Yeah, pretty much. It's almost like this game should have been at least a third of the size smaller than it turned out to be.
I would agree. I've not even played it.
Indeed.
Right, so I mentioned in a previous video, and I think that's kind of cool, seeing the blood go across the screen over the snow. I mentioned in a previous video that there was a shrine I skipped that would take you to another mind control spell that controls demons. I naturally assumed that it was going to freeze the game like the other one did, so I just threw the walkthrough wall sheet on. Easier that way. And it will allow us to save a little bit of time because there's a section in this video that I'm blatantly just going to skip because of that cheat, so is all for that. Plus, doing it this way means less loading screens for me to cut out. Because every time you mind control somebody, there's a loading screen to have you take over as that person you're controlling.
Wunderbar.
And editing those out is not fun. I probably could have just walked through here without unlocking those doors. Damn it. Oh well.
Multi-kill.
Yeah, I still really like that. I don't know what that looks like to you, Chris, but I think that's pretty cool. And of course, we're not exactly where we need to go yet. We gotta go through bullshit to get there.
Piles and piles of bullshit.
That's just constantly going through rooms. I am noticing I'm complaining a lot more on this go around than I did in my original playthrough of this game. And I definitely noticed these flaws before.
Aye.
Maybe not quite to this extent. Apparently you have to do this proper or you get reset, except I have the walkthrough walls cheat on, so it doesn't fucking matter.
Indeed.
And I was going to leave it in, and then I just didn't bother. I should have left it in one time at normal speed, me going through the menu, hitting the light spell, using the light spell, and then going back into the menu to put on an offensive spell. just so people could see how long that actually takes.
Oh, yes.
Right, and unfortunately I had to turn off the walk through walls cheat to activate that bat shrine, and even more unfortunately, I'm never going to need that bat shrine, so that was pointless.
This was once the most academic of cities, housing some of the most prestigious universities in all of Nosgoth. While I would not weep over lost tomes, I detested the sight of scars left upon the world at the hands of the Nemesis.
Oh, Kain, he does not like reading at all. He has no use for it.
No use at all.
And he's very angry about this Nemesis, which is strange considering we don't really know who the hell he is, and he's not overly plot important to the series. He does play a part in a major plot point in this game, but this all just feels like a long side quest. Probably because it is.
Add-in.
Yeah, exactly. If anybody remembers, we're supposed to be killing the circle. Oh, and does that sword on that statue look familiar to anybody? So keep that in mind, because I think this is a statue of William the Just, who would become that Nemesis. We will hear his name more later on this video and next video. The whole Nemesis thing that we're going to have to deal with just feels out of nowhere. And then not only are we not dealing with that, but then we're going on this side quest to get this girl's soul back. And even more unfortunate, now I need to turn that walk through walls cheat back on because I don't have that power so that I can flip the switch. Actually, I don't need to flip the switch, but I figured just in case, I might as well unlock it. So that's a thing. I'm actually fighting these things because I wasn't sure if their blood would be toxic or not. So I pulled out my Soul Eater power. And don't walk into the water. Which is pretty funny because he has a Soul Reaver, but he also has an ability to pull souls out of people and creatures. Right. In that room to the right is a save point. You'll probably want to use that. And now we can get to me giving up a lot of the pretense of trying to play this normally. So you can already notice a bit of a theme, although it's quiet for you guys. This music has kind of a twisted children's music style to it. It sounds kind of creepy. And I just skipped half of this section of the level. I noticed that where I needed to go was right down there, and I figured, well, you know what? As long as there's not a switch I need to hit, fuck it.
Yeah.
I wish I'd done more of that, to be honest.
Indeed.
I'm sure you guys do too.
Hey, what's done is done.
Yeah.
Very much.
Or rather,
so.
what isn't done isn't done.
Yeah. So this music has kind of a creepy children's music sort of vibe to it. I think some of these enemies are supposed to look like teddy bears or creepy versions of teddy bears. I'm not sure. They look like blobs to me, so.
They've got duck bills on.
Huh, interesting.
I think they're supposed to be mismatched toys.
Ah, that would make sense since this is a doll maker's place. Although this seems way too big for a doll maker's place. I assume even in these times, a doll maker would have a pretty small place to live.
Oh god, he'd have just had like a room like everybody else.
Yep.
With a desk in it or something.
But nope, he has a dungeon.
Yeah, he's got a whole bloody labyrinth.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Well, he is an evil doll maker, so maybe that affords him a bigger budget.
Maybe, and I assume he's also got some kind of either necromancy powers or some other kind of mystical powers, since he did some sort of spell to take the girl's soul out of her body and into this doll. So he's not a nice man, and I think it's heavily implied that he's a pedo. Although I don't know how old the daughter actually is, but since the contest was for a doll, I assume she's child age.
Or just really, really stupid.
Could be, you never know.
You know what medieval folk are like.
Right? Still possibly smarter than we are today, because let's face it, people today, not very bright.
The king did look very old though, so
Yeah, he did.
it's a bit confusing, age-wise.
I suppose, like, anyone can like dolls, I guess? I don't know.
I suppose. Especially sex dolls. Oh, yeah.
But since this is the medieval times, I guess there's not a lot to do, so...
Yeah. So that last part, you're supposed to turn into wolf form and jump over those barriers and dodge those spike balls. Yeah, we ain't having any of that shit. Fuck that.
You're lucky to walk through walls cheap. Still acknowledges trigger points for various things.
Yeah, I would have been screwed if it didn't, because there were a few points that you'll see next video that I would not have been able to finish the game otherwise. Actually, we've already seen some because that charm spell freezes up this version of the game, so I would have been screwed. And you can see why infinite magic is important here, because if I didn't have that, I wouldn't be able to use this magic for the light spell all the time, and it's dark as fuck without the light spell.
And plus you've got legions of bullshit enemies.
Yeah, and it just shows these developers could have lit these areas well enough and chose not to.
I've put little lamps on the walls.
Yeah, but they don't really do
being
much.
arseholes.
Yeah. Pretty much. More of the strange, unfortunate design choices of this game.
Yeah.
I don't want to try to navigate that, and I don't think anybody wants to watch me try to navigate that. As dark as it can get.
Nope.
Hey, a pantry. Nice.
Are you going to, like, his room or something?
Yeah, we're headed towards the doll maker now. And of course, there's
Jesus
a save point.
Christ. He's got to go through all that just to get in and out of his bloody room every fucking day.
Elzevir, I have come for the soul.
So, Otmar sent you to kill me, eh? I can smell him on you. Or is that the stench of the grave?
Dollmaker, I have no time for these games.
The soul is mine! I earned it! Otmar gave it to me!
Then you shall earn it with blood.
You shall not have it! Mine! Mine! Mine!
Alright, throw a temper tantrum, why don't you?
Farewell, my love. I was lucky to have made you.
What an odd little man. Now, to find the soul. Elzevir imprisoned the girl's soul in a small fabric doll. The old man's intentions I shall never know.
Oh, I have a pretty good idea what his intentions are, and it's probably best he's dead. That's right, kids, we get to walk all the way back through this. No shortcut for us.
Has anyone heard of a back door?
Right?
You know, just saying.
Yeah, that would be nice. And here we're going into bat form, heading to Willendorf.
To be fair though, since this game is a retelling of sorts, because it's been narrated by Kain,
Yeah.
I think sometimes what we're seeing is just him bullshitting. He's like making out that these places are these massive, weird labyrinths when they probably weren't.
That could be.
He just wants to sound cool, you know?
Well, everybody likes to
Embellish the truth.
pump up their stories a little bit. Yeah, embellish.
Yeah.
Just to make themselves sound better.
I think that's exactly what he's doing, because there's no fucking way a toy shop is like that, like,
Right.
ever.
Right.
Not even in this universe, no.
I entered the court with the doll-maker's head in one hand and the doll containing the girl's soul in the other. I placed them both before the king and watched his eyes catch fire. With the doll in their possession, the court's sorcerers could restore his daughter's soul.
I do not know that I can thank you enough, warrior. My kingdom is but a small price to pay for my daughter's life. Willendorf is yours if you wish it.
'Tis not your kingdom I desire, but your army, Otmar. I require troops to vanquish the horde that descends upon us from the north.
Very well. Courtiers, fetch me my armor and mace. There is war to be waged!
The scourge of Nosgoth is upon us, friends. We shall die today as heroes, lest we live tomorrow as slaves. Ready thine arms, for Nosgoth!
And how much of that battle do you think we get to see?
In the distance I saw the Nemesis armies march forward, a black tide that would soon wash over the armies of the Hope.
So now the next bit of this game, we're going to be doing this. Walking upward.
Killing allied and enemies.
Yep. And I'm leaving it all in, so that anybody watching can take this all in.
Ah, this epic battle.
This is what we have to do. Would a mace be an effective weapon in a war?
That caused blunt force trauma, so when like someone with armor gets hit with the mace, it's not the physical, it's what the vibration damages cause. It can rupture organs and that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
They came at me in throngs, no fervor as strong as that inspired by a madman. The Nemesis armies were fierce and showed no signs of subsiding.
The Nemesis and his horde fall upon us, my friend. I fear I can defend Nosgoth no longer. The Nemesis must be destroyed. For my daughter Kain. For the world.
The tide turned with Otmar's death. I watched as the remaining survivors of the armies of Hope fled to the safety of the forest. The battle had decided its victor. The fate of Nosgoth now lay in the Nemesis' hands.
Stars.
See, now this would have been cool as a strategy game.
Yeah, I could see that. I missed some dialogue where he talks about feeding on both allied and enemy soldiers. I don't know if that's before or after the battle was decided. If it's before the battle, it's kind of like, okay, if you're really wanting the Nemesis to lose, you probably don't want to feed off of your own soldiers. Just saying.
Kain doesn't care, he's a hungry vampire.
Oh yeah,
It's all that means to an end to him.
Oh yeah, he starts deteriorating as soon as he feeds, so it's not very practical actually. Yeah, this could have been an interesting place for a strategy section. But that would involve actually getting something new to do rather than the same thing over and over again.
Yep.
Although at least, as boring as this is, at least we have a different setting.
Yeah.
So that's something. Here the games librarian started talking about an RPG called Suikoden, which apparently had strategy elements, but his voice was very distorted for some reason, so I muted him. I assume a future games librarian LP. Oh, and just to set this up, he picked up a time streaming device, I think last video, or the one before that, I forget.
I vaguely remember that.
Just in case, because it's not exactly memorable.
At once the battlefield was gone. Where the ground was caked with blood and dirt, there was lush greenery. Where chaos reigned only moments before, this damning calm prevailed. Alas, it seemed I was stranded here. The time-streaming device lay in pieces at my feet.
Would you stand idle as vermin destroy your crops? No! As your house burns? No! Will you allow this evil to continue? No! Will the wickedness end? Yes! Do you believe? Yes! Yes! Then take me to your king, so that I can prepare you for the onslaught.
I hope you guys don't take this the wrong way, but he sounds a lot more British there than he normally does. And now
as people tend to do when they go full evil.
Yeah. It's always the Brits. And I love how it's trees and grass, and then suddenly it's just snow.
No in between.
Yeah, you would think there would be some kind of difference there, some kind of transition.
You did time travel, I suppose. It might be winter, and they cleared the snow out of that area.
No, he's talking about like there was grass, and then just right next to it was like a clean line of snow, and then it's just a snowy area.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. He can't see green. I forget.
Oh no, he can't.
Yeah, I always forget about that. Sorry, buddy.
That's alright.
And that statue is now in ruins. Or, well, actually, no, I guess it wouldn't be in ruins. Is it not built yet?
So it seemed I was in the land of William the Just. 50 years before the battle I had just escaped would take place.
So there's the mention of William the Just. He's the dude that would become the Nemesis.
I was about to ask if this was the past or the future, but I guess it's the past.
Yep.
Hey.
And keep in mind, there's a dude named Mobius, the time streamer. He's one of the Pillar Guardians we got to take out. So I think Kain's forgotten about him at this point. And I think I've already spoiled him anyways.
The stronghold of William the Just. 'Twas time for me to pay a visit to he who would become the Nemesis and force Nosgoth on its knees.
He just took over one area. Either way, this is a save point, and this is the end of this video. Thank you folks so much for watching, and we will see y'all next time when we conclude this bitch.